Good morning, YouTube, or whatever you're watching this as a rerun. If you're doing that, you can skip ahead about 20 minutes or so. Just getting on here a little bit early because we had a little issue last weekend and don't want that to happen again. So, there. Morning, Waylon. Suppose you're busy with summer sports with your kids now, huh? Baseball. I don't know what else they do. Baseball. Okay. Do you ever wish that you had the same type of sports when we were growing up, Waylon? I look at I mean, it might be different when you have kids, I mean? So I don't have kids, but, you see all these, different sports that are going on, uh, was not available. The only thing I do wish in high school I'd have done differently is, done golf instead of track. Morning, Karen. Hope everything's good in the, Mobridge area for you guys. I gotta get a hold of Brent and see if he's got any days I can come down and get some fishing done. Because the hay, well, I gotta cover the same amount of acres, but it's not gonna be that good of hay. See, I agree with you, Waylon. Yes, I agree. Because I enjoyed growing up on the farm and ranch side of things. I really did enjoy that. I mean, the folks definitely did not encourage us to I mean, when I was a senior, that's when, Gene Volk was gonna sell his land, right? He had a parlor dairy barn there going on. He had some more, acreage and whatever. And that time, I told my dad, I said I wanted to stay and do this. So we sat down and we started putting the pencil down, and I think, Gene Volk wanted what? It's like $98 an acre or something like that, and it wouldn't pencil out. There's no way. So he says, "Get out of here and go do something else." Here I am, right? Ivermectin Saturday. Good morning. That's a little stout. Yeah, I agree. So I don't miss the milking, but I'm glad I was brought up in that side of things. And here's why. There okay. So we celebrated, I mean, the major holidays, right? But you still had to do stuff on Christmas Day, Thanksgiving. You still had to milk the cows. When my sister got married, that was the first time my folks said, "You're on your own milking." So I had to run back home, milk, then drive back up to Mandan for the dance and what have you. And it taught you responsibility even when you had holidays going on. The bad part is you couldn't really take off and go do anything because somebody had to stay and milk cows. But I think it taught a lot of responsibility, or at least made you stay home. There you go. That's ready to go. What else is going on? Should I get some Brahman heifers? Think these Texas cattle would make it up here in the northern side of things? I don't know. It would be hilarious trying to round them up, though. It'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Got a friend of mine that's selling their heifers down in the Texas side of things and getting rid of them, getting out of the cattle side while the cattle's getting good. Did you know bred heifers, or I shouldn't say bred heifers? Coming 3-year-old pairs were bringing $3,250 this week. Man, oh man. Yeah. Morning, Dave. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Yeah, milking cows. Now, today's society, man, they're milking them things. All robotics. Growing up, everybody had milk cows. I mean, you guys had it, we had it, Zinz's had it, Florian and Francis Zins, Tishmox. Holy cow! Everybody had milk cows of some sort. It was like something going on there. Mike Wagner filling in for Todd. Okay, good morning, Mike. Good to have you along this morning. Hope your podcast is doing well, making all kinds of money. Yeah, it was the best milk ever, Waylon. I remember the milk picture that mom gave me. You go in there and you open up after it was sitting all night long cooling, and you dip that thing in there and you got that fresh milk, man. I miss that good whole milk. Yeah. Mike, I'll come on your show. I'm not as famous as all the other people that I'm like book authors and everything else going on there. Jeez. All right, what time is it? 6:51, 7:51 Central Time. Like I said, I got on here early because last week we had some YouTube issues. Just wanted to make sure everything was squared away here. Let's see. Tex says, I was raised on a dairy farm. I always thought God made calves to suck those cows. Went to beef cows instead. That's funny, Greg. You think about that too. So not only, did we the milk cows and we left our Holstein bull out with our cows year round. And anyway, you always had something coming in, right? You always had something coming in, and you take the calf out, you put it over in the barn in these hutches, and then you had to milk so many, I mean, especially if it's a new milk cow, you couldn't save the milk right away because it was a little red. And anyway, you save the milk, you take over, and you got to go feed the calves, and you got to milk the cows. It was like an ongoing thing all the time. It was like, what the hell? Now, with raising these ranch cows here, if I have a calf that I got to put a cow in a head gate and try to get it to suck or something like that, I don't have much patience for it. I really don't. So, but there's always the tricks, right? There was many, many tricks of getting it to suck. The one thing I learned this year, or was it a couple years ago? Somebody told me to use Gatorade, and it actually worked pretty good. Other than that, what's going on here? All right. Stations, I can sure do a countdown if you guys are listening here. We can do that here in about 30 seconds or so. Get the time ready to go. I'll give John a call. We'll start our pre-show here a little early. And that's about it. I got nothing. Unsuccessful in elk, unsuccessful in bighorn sheep, unsuccessful in moose. Station 65400 on mark. So all I got this year is, what did I put in here? Game and fish. Let's see what. Let's log in. Social Security. All right. So I got my combination license. I got my certificate going on here this year. Bighorn sheep has been submitted. They haven't had that one yet, I guess. Let's see. Deer muzzleloader. I have 4 bonus points. That's been submitted. The elk preferential landowner. Unsuccessful. It says, yeah, I don't understand that. They do some type of point system. It only shows I got 1 point. That's a bunch of bull. Morning, Eric. Thunder Valley. Where it's already shaken. Moose. Unsuccessful. Deer gratis submitted. How can they not know that by now? Spring turkey submitted. Right? I never got it. It still said submitted on spring turkey. Yeah. Johnny Piazza. Didn't forget about you. It's been a hectic week. We want to do it, but would be okay. We did another week. We're filming a hunt for Axis buck, and we have a way to a fan and wounded it. Long story short, it's been a long week. Definitely want to do it. Yeah. There you go. There we go. Old Johnny Piazza down in Texas. Let's see. So, yeah. So, my spring turkey gratis license has still not been accepted, and the turkey season's over with. So, yeah. So, there you go. What else is going on? Current bonus points. Muzzleloader I have 4. I don't know why I have 2 pronghorn. Got a gratis tag on that. I have my registration on my equipment, trapping equipment. I did, Wayne. Wayne, I got the photos. I did. I did not go through them just yet. I appreciate that, though. I appreciate sending that thumb drive. I have not gone through them, but I did get it in the mail here. We got it. Is that Thursday? Thursday we got it delivered here. So there you go. Onyx subscription, delete their anti-landowner. What's this mobile message? Let's view it. The mobile app is now available at Google Play and Apple App Stores. Well, good. It's a good idea. So there you go. See what South Dakota's got going on here. They got always good stuff. Like me talking to myself now. All right. The one thing about South Dakota's website I don't like is when you start scrolling, you got to scroll all the way back up and click onto the purchase now thing. Not a big deal. Deer season applications are available. Oh, that ended on June 14th. Ooh. Black Hills ended at 14th, and the West River ended on the 14th. All East River, every deer application ended on June 14th. Yikes. I missed out on my non-resident. Shoot. Maybe I can still get in. We'll see. Hey, I think it's time to call John. I forgot about that. One of the only numbers I still remember by heart. You believe that?
Good morning.
You're the only phone number I actually have memorized. You know that?
Really?
Yeah. I don't have to look at anything to look it up. Everybody else's, I got to go in my phone and look it up.
That's because we've been doing this so long.
We've been doing it we've been doing it a damn long time.
Yeah. I got Trevor Hintz is in camp with me and his dad. We're going to go shoot prairie dogs.
Trevor Hintz. Who's he work for again? Nikon?
Yep. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor. Yeah. He now, of course, Nikon doesn't do shit anymore, but he works for like Christensen Arms, different companies like that.
Yeah. There's so much better glass than some of that, but they make good cameras.
Yeah. We were just talking about, I honestly, Nikon made some really nice scopes. I mean, they really did. the cost of it and stuff, I never had a complaint on them. I got to say that
No.
all their stuff was really pretty good. They just they sucked at marketing, and they apparently didn't like hunting.
They like taking pictures of deer instead of shooting them.
Yep, I like to do both.
I like the mental picture.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You guys get rain? Hey, did you get rain out there?
We got 3,100s this week.
Oh my gosh, we got like 2 inches here.
Yeah. But 3,100s in the Badlands is quite a rain.
Yeah.
That's a little more substantial than some people realize it is.
Yeah. It was like our coolies were running
Nice.
hard. So yeah, it
kind
of messed up the prairie dog yesterday, but that was fine.
Yeah. That's all right. They'll be out like crazy today, though, man. Little sunshine and no clouds.
Hoping. We went and shot a few of them. I shot one, and I got to brag about it, even though it's not like big, but I shot one at 350 yards, and for me, that was pretty impressive.
Damn right. Absolutely.
I shot seven times, and I had 2 confirmed kills and 1 maim.
The maim will still die, okay?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Yeah. He bled out.
Did you go tracking the blood trail?
That one needed a tourniquet pretty bad.
Yeah, no, that one we left. He was a long ways away.
The ones that I like is ones you hit a little bit too far back, and then they use their front wheel drive to crawl into stuff. That's the ones I like. Sounds bad, but I like those.
I know. I like when they go 3 feet, 4 feet in the air and do a backflip, and they go back in the hole.
So I was talking to Johnny Piazza. I don't know if you know him. He's kind of the host of the Outdoor Adventure Foundation TV show thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I called him up the other day, and I was just bullshitting with him a little bit. And he does a lot of the filming and what have you for Keith Warren and all of the prairie dog stuff that the last time they were out, they had to delete every single bit of it off of online and YouTube and everything, and the whole works. I mean, it was the Pursuit Channel came down on them. PETA came after. I mean, it was just a mess of things. So
that's the thing when you're too big, everybody watches you.
Yeah.
And again, when we put it on TV, you got to tame it back a little bit. You can't. It's kind of like shooting a deer. If you like shoot their front leg off and they're running with the windmill, you can't show that running away for 100 yards. You might just show one wing and then you're done. And it's the same with the prairie dog. If we had close-ups, because you get that one that's like at 100 yards, and it just self implodes. That one you don't put in slow motion.
But why? But there should be a format where a person could do that with.
Well, you would think like on YouTube and stuff like that, because it's a hunting. If you don't want to watch it, then don't watch it.
Oh, YouTube shut that down like quickly though.
Yeah, like Trevor said, they have murders on there. They got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they can video the school shootings or stuff like that. They'll put on there, but they won't allow prairie dog shooting. It's stupid.
No, I know.
Oh well. Waylon Turner said they got 3.5 inches north of Mandan.
Yeah, that's what Levi said.
No, I don't think Waylon's talking about rain.
Oh, oh shoot. That's funny. Trevor, you want to check that sausage? Just kind of keep an eye on it. Thank you. I'm making some hot sausage on the grill this morning.
Yeah. Gene Cox just messaged me. Prop 12 in California is gaining some steam down there, man. It's not good.
What is that?
We only got a few seconds here before we go on, but it's anti-ag, it's anti-hunting. It's a terrible bill. They've been trying to push it through for years and years and years, and they're gaining steam on it right now. So, all right, 30 seconds of showtime. John, I'm going to turn you down here. Stations, 25 seconds to showtime on mark. I take that back, John. I'm a minute ahead. I got to start at 7:06, not 7:05. Whoops. I got a lot of time for their forecast and all that stuff.
Well, there you go.
Oh, crap. 60 seconds. I'm so excited.
Well, that's good. You can hear me okay and stuff?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You shot your new bow yet?
Yes, I have.
How does it feel?
Feels really good. It's a little bit longer, but actually feels really nice.
Yeah.
A little smoother.
I got no complaints about them. Like I said, I think, and I wonder if I did order you the 34, or if I can't remember if I ordered you the, because I shoot the 34, or it's like 33 inches, and
yeah.
It's funny how a guy thinks that's long nowadays.
Yeah,
because the old bows used to be 37 inches. You know.
All right, stand by, John. Stand by. Yep. 10 seconds. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, all across the Dakota Territory, and great radio stations like KGFX out of Pierre in Fort Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY, Mulberg, South Dakota, KFI 550, the voice of the Northern Plains and Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB 910 on the AM dial. I cut my teeth on that radio station years and years ago. And also the voice of the West, KLTC 1460 Dickinson, North Dakota. Good to have you along across the YouTube side of things too. If you're subscribing to my channel, I appreciate that. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio on the YouTube side. Well, this morning, John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV joins me here. John, welcome back from bear hunting. Do you have your Canadian accent?
I sure do. How you doing, eh?
Hey, yeah. Now, it depends on which part of Canada you're in, or a lot of people say we in the North and South Dakota side sound like Canadians. That's incorrect.
There's some Canadians up there. I can't use the language that they use up there, but it's pretty good. It rhymes and it flows. It's like a poet. It's poetry in motion up there.
Poetry in motion on the Canadian side. So how did the bear hunting trip go?
Well, it actually, it was one of those deals that we still had fun on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as the trip went. It's 10 out of 10. I got to be with Shelby, and we had a good time, but we just are snake bit. It's just one of those deals that we've been hunting together. I'll have to add up the hours, but I would say we've hunted bears 7 or 8 times together. And on average, you sit from 2 o'clock till 10:30 at night. Sometimes we've sat all day. So you're talking hundreds and hundreds of hours that we have sat. And I always tell people killing a bear is not real difficult. Killing a big bear can be tough. And we just are unlucky. We had friends we went up with, a young man, Tanner, first time bear hunting. Second sit, shoots a Pope and Young, 300-pound boar. And it's like, it's just the way it goes. And we made a mistake, which we know we shouldn't do, and that is jumping baits.
What do you mean by jumping bait?
So we got, I think there was, I don't know how many baits we had going, and you set the trail cameras up, and every one of the baits had a pretty good boar on it, at one time. And usually, from what I've done in the past, and you listen to guides that are good, and this gentleman, kind of said the same thing. Just sit in one stand and stay there for at least 3 days, because the time we went up is the beginning of June, and the rut is kicking off, and these bears start traveling and going to the baits, checking for sows. And instead of, the first night we sat a bait that had a good boar on there. We saw a good bear, but not the one we wanted. And then we checked cameras the next day, and we see a good bear on the next bait. So we started hopping baits, chasing bears, and that just doesn't work, because every time we hop baits and look back at the camera on the bait we were on, at least every third day or second day, a big bear was there again. So, if you just sit still, they usually come back, but then you don't ever know. They might come back because they know you're not there.
Right.
Big bears, they're not stupid. And we went after one that was an absolute giant, Boone and Crockett, and to kill a bear like that, you can't have the wind in the wrong direction. You can't, it's just, they're not stupid. And we just got fooled once again.
Do they have size restrictions on what you can and can't shoot in Canada?
No, the only thing is that a lot of them will have, don't shoot a sow with cubs,
Yeah.
because you'll have Tanner had the first night had a sow come in with 3 little butterballs that were born this year. So they were size of a little puppy. And, we have always said that we try not to shoot sows, even though it's totally legal. Friends of ours went up the week after we did, and they ended up shooting 2 really nice boars. And Scott's daughter, Sam, shot a beautiful sow that was a dry sow. And it was probably a 270-pound sow, which is a great bear. So we had opportunities. We had a color phase bear in front of us. We had a couple black bears. We had a nice sow in front of us, but we just kind of, Shelby and I set our minds to it, and I kind of leave it up to her, and she didn't want to shoot it. She was waiting for that boar.
Yeah. So it wasn't that you didn't have opportunity.
No.
You decided on your own to make sure that you're going to go after a certain specific type and size of bear, and that's what you set your goal for.
Yep, and that's what we do. And again, like I said, Shelby, her first year bear hunting, she killed a bear. She killed a nice young boar. Not anything giant, probably a 250-pound bear, which, for your first bear is awesome. And then she has been snake bit. She shot at one nice bear that we thought she 12 ringed it, and we couldn't find it. But, they say a bear is a little bit different. They say split them in the middle, shoot them behind the front shoulder, but shoot them like 6 to 8 inches back and mid body level instead of tucking it in behind the pocket. And Shelby tucked it in behind the pocket, and I thought she smoked them. And we lost blood after a couple 100 yards.
Huh.
So again, it's one of those deals. We still had fun. The only sad thing is because you're bear hunting so hard, you don't get to fish that much. And the other guys end up fishing and catching a bunch of fish, and Shelby and I caught a few fish, and that was it. So, just one of those trips that the stars did not align, but we still had fun.
So what does it take to get a license in the Canadian side of things? Is it a kind of a tough thing to do? Is it a draw or yearly?
Nope.
What is
it's like they're a varmint considered up there. So you just, when you go to Canada, you have to use an outfitter. So you have to have an outfitter to go with. And, it's one of those deals. Most of the bear hunts nowadays are going to run you about $3,000 all the way up to $5,000, $6,000. There's some places up in Alberta that some people I know, and they, their bear hunts, I think, are $6,000, but they shoot giant bears because they are way, way north, so you can do spot and stock in some of those places, but you have to go through an outfitter, and the bear tags are relatively inexpensive. Like, I think the most expensive province is maybe $300.
Well, that's not bad at all. It's just the rest of the cost, I suppose, of the outfitter.
Yeah, it is. And when you think about the logistics, so you're baiting these areas, and if you do a good job baiting, your bait should be at least 5 miles to 6 miles apart, because a bear to travel that, it's no problem for him to travel it.
Yeah.
Shelby and I went after a bear one year. We were hunted it for a week. A friend of ours went up the next week and shot that same boar 7 miles away on a different bait. So they travel because they're looking for the females. And so as an outfitter, you're thinking, guys will say they run, say if you just run 10 baits, that's a lot of driving just for 10 baits.
Yeah.
If they're 5 miles apart, 6 miles apart, they're in the bush. So they expense, and then getting the oats and getting the bait in there. And you have to keep those barrels full. Otherwise those, the bears, it's kind of like if you go to your fridge, it's empty. You go to the next place.
Question comes in, says, do you shoot expandable broadheads at these things?
A bear is not, again, for Shelby, I have her shoot fixed blade because she's shooting lower poundage. She's shooting 50 pounds. But for a guy shooting 70 pounds, you can shoot a mechanical broadhead. A bear, it's not a hard thing to go through. They're big, but their hide isn't real thick. So we've shot them both ways. A guy can use either or.
Nice. If you have questions or comments, you can feel free to text me. 701-425-6651 is my phone number. We're live chatting on YouTube right now. Also, you can call in. 888-932-5682 is the number. That again, 9Dakota. Toll-free number. John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest. We're talking bear, prairie dogs. Heck, we might even get political. It's all coming up next right here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors.
Attention farmers and ranchers, get ready for the Hepper Farm Machinery Auction happening this Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. Don't miss your chance to bid on 4 2016 John Deere 569 balers, a 2009 New Holland H80 40 swather, and a New Holland T7 170 tractor, livestock panels, and more. It's a must-attend auction for all your ranching and haying needs. Join Piper's Auctioneers Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. For complete inventory and online bidding on all of Piper's land and equipment auctions, log on to pifers.com.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a Livestock Risk Protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo-Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. 1030, Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Attention farmers and ranchers, get ready for the Hepper Farm Machinery Auction happening this Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. Don't miss your chance to bid on 4 2016 John Deere 569 balers, a 2009 New Holland H80 40 swather, and a New Holland T7 170 tractor, livestock panels, and more. It's a must-attend auction for all your ranching and haying needs. Join Piper's Auctioneers Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. For complete inventory and online bidding on all of Piper's land and equipment auctions, log on to pifers.com.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a Livestock Risk Protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo-Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes,
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, all across the Dakota Territory for 2 decades already. John Arman is my guest from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. 2 decades already, John. Holy moly. Have you seen it in the gray on my YouTube channel? Somebody told me it was like within a year and a half. He said, wow, you really got gray. I'm like, yeah, it's that time of year, I guess.
I had one of my school kids looking at me the other day, and he goes, Mr. Arman, come here. And he's looking at me real close, getting close to me. He goes, you got a lot of wrinkles. You're kind of old. Like, get out of here, you little turd. But yeah, it is. It's been, I'm going on, we started about the same time because I'm at year 20 now.
Yeah.
We're at year 20 with the show. So
yeah, it's crazy. You know, like they always say, at marketing, they say in radio, you're supposed to say decades, like to give like 2 decades going on 3 is what they expect you to say now. That was one of the marketing classes I took. So I don't know if it works. It sounds like we just make ourselves sound older is what it sounds like.
Yeah. It sounds like it's a bigger number.
Yeah. Decade, but it isn't. All right. Well, prairie dog shooting is next here. You have some guests in camp, and it sounds like you guys are going to go out and have a little fun today.
Yeah, we got friends, Trevor and Dave are in from Wisconsin. The Cheeseheads, man, they brought in some squeaky cheese. If you've ever not had
love it.
Cheese curds, man, I'm telling you, squeak, and God, are they good. Yeah. It's just amazing. So yeah, they've been up here. Trevor, I met Trevor through the industry. He was our Nikon rep. I've had 2 Nikon reps. Tony Martin, if you're listening out there, he's the one that got me started. Old Tony, we prairie dog hunted together, and then Tony moved on to something else, and Trevor took over, and we started working with Trevor and had him come up with his dad and his brother prairie dog hunting, and it's been one of those deals that we try to get them up whenever we can because they have so much fun, and it's been, like I said, a tough week so far, but the sun's shining today. We went out yesterday and we basically shed hunted just because it was so overcast and raining. And we plinked a little bit of some iron targets and had fun, and then went out last night and just shot a few. Went to a town that looks like it's been shot up pretty hard. So we're going to go to another one and hopefully have better luck today.
People say prairie dog hunting. I don't know if that it's shooting, prairie dog shooting, right? I mean, it's not like you're really
no.
Putting out.
We pick up every one of them. We skin them out and we have them for dinner.
Oh yeah. Have you ever tried one? I was bet to try one. I was bet I did it. It was terrible. Yeah, don't do it.
I had a squirrel one time, and that was, to me, was bad enough. A guy from down south said they grew up eating them, and it looked like a rat going in the crock pot. And I said, it didn't taste that good.
No, not at all. So what's the round of choice? Jamie Breck messaged me the other day. He always has these polls, and it's like, what's the best prairie dog round or rifle that you shoot? And it's kind of it's a tough one for me. So I'll go ahead. You tell me what you think, and then we'll have a discussion.
I'm one of those guys. Trevor probably better at it because he's a gun guru. I'm not a gun guru. I got a 223 in a AR format, and I like shooting that. And I want to say I'm shooting 50 grain hollow points, and you shoot about halfway down that body, and she does some back flips and things like that. And I like that. And Trevor pulled out yesterday a 22 subsonic suppressed. And I was watching, and I thought he dry fired until I saw the little critter fall over.
Yeah, when all you can hear is a firing pin, it's a nice sound.
It was. I said, but it was almost too quiet for me. I said, I like to hear the little bit of a bang and watch a little bit of a, kind of the end result.
Yeah.
This was just like tipping over a target. But and then I shot the 6.5 Creedmoor just for fun because I don't get to shoot it very often, and that is a heck of a caliber, except you're getting a lot more recoil, so it's not as fun. You don't get to stay on your target and watch it, kind of do its little trick. So I prefer the 223. I enjoy that round.
So the many years and the many rounds of taking people out hunting or shooting prairie dogs, and I mean that's how I made some money during the summers. I used to do quite a bit of it until everybody got a little bit I'd say needy and greedy, John. When you take people out, they expect more and more out of you each time. And
Oh, yeah.
I cut it off when somebody looked at me and said, "Can you load my magazine?" I'm like, "You can load your own magazine. I ain't doing
Well,
that." You know.
Didn't we hunt? Didn't we bring in the guys from Nikon from the headquarters?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That-
We did that down.
1 year.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's what got me started. And I was like, man, maybe there might be a little money into this, right? But anyway, 22-250. It's one of those rounds where it makes a heck of a starfish out of them. You can do some close range shooting. You can reach out and touch something. And it seems like the 22-250 was the round that I saw was the most effective each and every time that we went out shooting prairie dogs. And I said I'm not a ballistic guy, so I couldn't even tell you which one's better, which one's faster, any of that stuff. I'm the guy that just gets a gun and shoots it.
All about velocity on prairie dogs.
Yeah.
Well, but what did he say?
He said it's all about velocity on prairie dogs.
Velocity. How fast can you not only velocity in the person shooting, but the velocity of the bullet itself. So, but yeah, I haven't done it in a while. We went and poisoned our big towns in the last 2 years. We've really tried to put the poison down on them, and they are hard to kill, man. It is nearly impossible to kill them out, but we made a dent at least. And
we're kind of like, it's kind of like coyotes. It seems like no matter what you do, they're resilient enough.
Yeah.
So Scott, tell people why you want to get rid of them as a rancher. What's the big problem with prairie dogs? They're cute and cuddly, and you see them at the zoo, and they're endangered species. So why are you killing them?
None of that's true, John. None of that's true. They're not cute. I don't know who cuddles with them, but I see pet stores in Chicago. They actually sell them to people. And I thought maybe that would be a good way to do it, but you can't legally trap them, I guess. But the problem that we're having with it is here in the Badlands, grass is not overabundant anyway. We have good grass, but it takes a few more acres per animal unit to be able to graze. And the prairie dog town that was on one of our pastures was gaining almost a full section already. And that's a lot of grass that's being decimated. I mean, there's nothing but cactus left on that ground. The prairie dogs are actually taking the sagebrush and completely, I mean, it's flat, right? I mean, so when the big sage grouse initiative was coming and the Forest Service was all complaining about, oh, we need to do this for the sage grouse, we took them to prairie dog towns where you could literally see half of the prairie dog town used to be sagebrush, and they have it mowed down, but they won't agree with that because that's not in their agenda. But if you're looking at conservation wise, there's nothing else except snakes and badgers that can basically live on this empty stuff. Plus, it's hard on our cattle. You could try to push cattle across a prairie dog town. You got to go really slow. You got to be careful with your horse. You got to be careful, even if you're on an ATV. You got to be careful. It's dangerous out there. You might break legs, and on the cattle, you might tip over. You might trip and fall, and just not a good thing. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for the grasses.
Well, it's like, and I've told people, because people argue with me on that, and I'm like, I said everything in moderation. I said, having a few prairie dogs is not a bad deal, but I said I don't think people realize how many millions and millions and millions of acres are taken up by freaking prairie dogs.
Yeah.
There's some of these places that you can go 2 miles driving and it's nothing but a prairie dog town, you know? And again, they talk about it. Well, in the old days, in the old days when we had 1 million buffalo roaming and prairie dogs and no people and no cattle and no things like that, it's a different time, and you have to adjust to the situation, the time, you're living in. And again, that's why we do it, because it helps the ranchers, and it's exciting and it's fun. I said, I really believe you can take an anti-hunter out there, and if you just let them shoot one time, they'll start giggling like a school kid because it's so much fun.
But you have to remember, Mother Nature also will take care of some of its own. I mean, look at the whitetail population with EHD. Look at prairie dogs, the bubonic plague. I mean, you can get that in that. Mother Nature takes care of itself. But the nice thing that sets us apart from a lot of other places is we can own private property. And I beg to differ anybody that would have the heart on a prairie dog that lives in town, that has their own property, would like to see their ground start tearing up like that. We'll be back with more right after these messages.
Attention farmers and ranchers, get ready for the Heifer Farm Machinery Auction happening this Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. Don't miss your chance to bid on 4 2016 John Deere 569 balers, a 2009 New Holland H80 40 swather, and a New Holland T7 170 tractor, livestock panels, and more. It's a must-attend auction for all your ranching and haying needs. Join Piper's Auctioneers Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. For complete inventory and online bidding on all of Piper's land and equipment auctions, log on to pifers.com.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a Livestock Risk Protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Attention farmers and ranchers, get ready for the Heifer Farm Machinery Auction happening this Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. Don't miss your chance to bid on 4 2016 John Deere 569 balers, a 2009 New Holland H80 40 swather, and a New Holland T7 170 tractor, livestock panels, and more. It's a must-attend auction for all your ranching and haying needs. Join Piper's Auctioneers Wednesday, June 21st at 11 a.m. in Fort Yates, North Dakota. For complete inventory and online bidding on all of Piper's land and equipment auctions, log on to pifers.com.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a Livestock Risk Protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, and the longest-running Saturday live talk show, I think, in the Dakota Territory. Everybody else records their Saturday stuff here. John Arman's my guest here from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Welcome back, John. Are you ready to go to the phone lines? I have somebody that's been on hold through the entire break. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. Do a 220 number. Welcome to Dakota Prairie Outdoors. You're on with John Arman and myself. Good morning.
Morning, John. Morning, Scott. How you guys doing today?
Oh, I would have never guessed it's going to be you on the phone.
I would have. I still see. I don't know Jamie's number well enough to see it come up.
I think he changes it, Scott. I was just talking about. I was telling Trevor about this dude I met years ago. He would call in, and I never knew who in the hell he was. He sounded kind of like a redneck, and was always talking about Second Amendment and all this stuff. And then here I work with his wife, and now he's got a great radio program himself, and he's the guns of the 701.
Yeah, he's
and
famous now.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep. You're doing
I don't
a
know
good
if I'm
job, buddy.
famous.
You're infamous.
Appreciate that. Well,
All right, what's on your
I'll
mind,
take
Jamie?
that. I got a couple things for you guys. We were in the Selfridge Prairie Dog tournament there, and Dogtown we were on wasn't that great, but it was fun as usual. But one thing that was weird was a lot of guys were saying they didn't see any prairie dog pups, which I didn't either. And so I don't know if the winter kind of maybe did something to that. And like the guns you were talking about, I sent you that poll, Scott. It was easily the 223 was easily number one for prairie dog, and the ballistic tip was the best. I shot a bolt action actually when I was in the dog tournament with and I used soft points. They were good. And I know when I was at Scott's that time, the prairie dog town he's talking about killing off, he took me down. It was awesome, man. But yeah, Scott got mad because I kept shooting him in the head. He wanted to see him fly in the air, but I don't know. I like to take the heads off him. That's just me.
I'm just happy
and then
to
speaking of pups, I don't know. I see some groups he shot, man. You look like you're a pretty good shot, John. I don't know. I think you're selling yourself
buddy,
short.
That's a great thing about social media, man. I can shoot at 20 yards and tell everybody it's 300.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But speaking of pups too, I'm out in the hunting shack here doing a little deer scouting, and I've seen probably, I don't know, 15 mule deer. I've seen one little buck, but I've only seen one of them with the fawn. I don't know. Are you guys seeing any fawns? Because I don't know if the winter did something to these does and they aborted their fawns or something. But I've seen one, and now, but by this time, I'm usually seeing tons of fawns. So I don't know. What are you guys seeing?
I have not seen anything on trail camera yet. I talked to a friend of mine that is east bound down by Oaks, and they winter like probably close to 1,000 deer. And he said he found a lot of aborted fetuses and a lot of yearlings. He said they it's to the point where they talked to the Game and Fish and got nowhere, and they got a group of people together and got signatures, and they're fighting it pretty hard, and they all got together as a group, and they're not going to shoot a doe out there because they lost that many deer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any fawns out in this in the western edge over this way. I've only seen one antelope kid. That's it. Out of all the antelope running around. So I have a different theory on why, but yeah, I guess I haven't seen any aborted fetuses, but I don't think you'd find them out here in the Badlands. I mean, the coyotes and everything else would be, and the hawks and the eagles. I mean, we have a lot of eagles anymore, so I think that's going to be taking care of a lot of them.
Some people say the grass is high, but I mean, the fawn that I did see was pretty tiny. So I mean, I would see them if they were with, and there's deer right below me right now, and I see there's does bedded down. There's nothing. She's actually hearing me talk right now, staring up here. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty disappointing, and they already dropped the tags in our unit. I think the mule deer bucks dropped 200 or 100, and the does dropped 300. I actually put in for a doe for my second one too, and if I don't get a buck and I draw a doe, there's no way I'm shooting the doe, because I can just see just on our property here that the does are way down, and And obviously the bucks, like I said, I seen one buck. He just had, little nubs on him, well, a little longer than that. But of course they're behind whitetails. But whitetails, they got wiped out by the not EHD. I always mix them two up. But yeah, but you actually seen a few of them. My dad said he saw. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, whitetails. I mean, they were kind of going away here the way it was, but yeah, that kind of wiped them out. But I did see a couple of them, so that was encouraging. But last deer season here for rifle, I think I seen one whitetail doe, and that was it. So I haven't checked my game camera yet. I'm going to do that. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and we were talking about the one gentleman out east. He, the disagreement he had with the Game and Fish, and I know it's money and things, and they do some good things, and but when you fly over and check a place in February, you got 3 months sometimes, and that's what happened to us. Is that just because you made it through February did not mean you made it till April, and they had their big die off that last storm because they were just all worn out. And I think that and I know the Game and Fish did do a second flyover in the unit I want to say by Jamestown, and it went from, I'm not sure the percentage. And March or in February was like maybe 20% loss or 27% loss. But I think that almost doubled in April when they did the second one because of that late storm. So it's hard. I mean, I don't know how you do it. I just know that there's going to be a lot less deer and a lot less licenses for the next few years.
Yeah, I would say too. I noticed what you're saying there. The herds were still pretty big, and then after that late storm again, I could tell that the population went down. So, and I found a couple dead ones, but it's the one good thing about it. I mean, here comes a little buck right here. Boy, the trees! I tell you what, these buffalo berries, these ash trees are growing out of here like I haven't seen in years. So, I mean, that's definitely a plus. They can always use trees here in our neck of the woods, but it's looking good. And the pheasant population seems to be all right. Surprisingly, that came through that late storm good. I think I was seeing hens, but now they kind of disappeared. So I'm guessing they're sitting on their nests. And talked to a few guys who were swath, and they haven't seen too many, but I don't know. So I'm hoping they're around because I'm seeing roosters.
Are you two ready for my conspiracy theory on deer numbers? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm always ready for a good conspiracy theory.
Well, here's what I've seen. All right, so 2 years ago, we got hit with EHD, and the whitetail deer just got decimated. And I seen this by fencing the Little Missouri River, and they were just, I mean, you were stepping over deer every 10 feet, right? Hundreds of deer on the Little Missouri just in our area, okay? All whitetail. But it was right on the river. I feel that the mule deer maybe didn't catch EHD, but I think they got a little sick from it because talking to with Jake Wagner, I mean, he butchers a lot of deer for people and takes care of it. He says a lot of these deer were coming in as stags. There was issues with them. They didn't have the testosterone. They weren't reproducing. So you take that into the next year. If those deer had issues breeding or had something going on because they got a little bit ill because of that EHD in the water or whatever they were around, wouldn't that come into this year's fawn situation?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it would.
Right? I mean, it was the way I was looking at it, I mean, there was just hundreds of deer, and this is just on a short stretch and on the property that I have to fence. That's gotta be affecting. They say it doesn't affect mule deer. I get it. Maybe they don't catch it, but I think they got a little sick from it. I really do. I think it affected their breeding and reproduction side of things. And,
I think they can catch it, Scott. I think it just doesn't affect them it doesn't kill them as fast or as hard. Because I think EHD, it kills cattle, it kills elk. It just, cows and elk and mule deer seem to be more resistant to it than whitetail. It seems whitetails, even though some of them made it through it just hammered them.
Yeah. I just think that we're seeing the effects of that EHD outbreak from 2 years ago into the reproduction side of things. That's my theory. And my theory on the prairie dog pups, when was the tournament, Jamie?
Last weekend.
Okay. So the first batch of prairie dogs, the first pups that they have will be right around the first part of May. And the next one will be in July. And they grow fast.
Okay. I mean, I'm telling you, these are all like bigger prairie dogs, and we kind of talked over with some other teams there too. And these guys, not that I mean, you're around prairie dogs way more than I am. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just every time I've ever prairie dog shot, and it was more like hunting because there wasn't that many for us. But
you got to remember, you're down by Selfridge. Prairie dogs grow within 1 week to adult size down there. That's how good that soil is. Okay, I got a text message.
I'll let you know today what we see if we see any pups. We didn't see a lot yesterday, but we didn't see a lot of prairie dogs either.
I got a text message. So what's the conspiracy, Scott? It sounds like you're using logic. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to say that sounds like a factual theory right there. I couldn't disagree with you.
What gets me about it is, you see all these people, they're just pushing money into CWD. CWD. Oh my God. CWD is around. We had 2 deer test for CWD. Oh my God. Right. But we had thousands of deer die with EHD, and it's like, oh, that's Mother Nature. So is CWD.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yep. All right, guys. I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to head back in. My daughter wants to do some shooting, and I'm not going to deny her that. And she wants to drive my mule around too. So we're going to go have some fun. It's good talking to you guys, John. Good luck prairie dog shooting. I'm hoping to see some good video.
All right,
Thank you. See you, Scott.
Your radio show.
You bet. See you, Jamie. Guns in the 701. If you want to check Jamie out on the flip side of things there. Well, John, we got Gene said, well, no, not Gene. Somebody messaged in. He says, was out spraying spurge and saw 0 fawns throughout the entire time spraying out there. So there might be a drastic change, not only this year, the tags are already decided, but maybe next year.
Yeah, like I said, on these bad winters, like I said, we had a lot of deer, but I know, when we shed hunted, we probably found, I don't know, a dozen carcasses and legs and stuff like that. Most of them were smaller deer, yearlings.
Yeah.
So like I said, there could be a change in the next year or two, especially if we're not, like I said, those fawns are made. If they're stressed, they'll abort because they're, they got to stay alive. And if they can't get enough nutrients and stuff like that, and I think we were lucky here because we didn't get that big late storm. We got a little storm, but those guys out east got hammered.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you just never know when Mother Nature is going to take care of its own. And by God, once you think you got it figured out, it isn't going to be. Did you see the guy from Tennessee? They did this whole deer survey for the last 10 years. And everything that people have said about moon phases and everything, they're disclaiming. They're like, that has nothing to do with deer.
Really?
Did you see that? I'm going to have
I haven't
I'll
seen
have to
that.
send you the link. It's kind of interesting, some of the stuff that they were bringing up. They said it has nothing to do with moon phase. It has nothing to do with this or that or other things. And it's just, but again, when people do studies and tests like this, how are they doing them? Are they in 2,000 acres or 20 acres? That's the thing about those tests.
Well, all I know is that I used to keep a diary when I was a kid, and there is something to do with the moon phase. And I would say like 3 to 4 times a month, the deer activity is phenomenal. And then I used to travel from one school to another school at like about 11:30, and there was deer always up and feeding on certain days. So I used to look out my window every evening, and I get to count deer coming up, and there's magical nights every month that you see way more activity. So I would have to say that there is something to do with that. That's why,
yeah.
And again, you think about it, when it's a full moon, they can move, they can see, it's, I don't know. Like I said, I'd like to see the study and, like you said, on how big an area it was and how they came up with their data. But again, like I tell people, it don't make a difference what moon phase it is or what. If I got time to hunt, I'm going to hunt because I don't get to hunt every day. So if I look at the jury forecast, they got that app and it says bad, bad, bad. I still hunt, and I've killed animals on when it said bad, bad, bad.
Yep.
Text
message comes in and says, when you kept your diary, was it a deer diary?
Yep, I started it out every day. Deer diary.
DEER diary. Deer diary.
Yep, that's a good one.
Well, for some reason, I have a flashback of like, what was that? Alfalfa. The Little Rascals there. For some reason, I have that in my mind right now. It's I'm aging myself right now, John. Well, coming up, what do we have here? Besides this summer, you're spending time with your food plots, and grasshoppers are an issue in my area. Are they going to be affecting these food plots this year?
I've seen a lot of them, and they not just in one spot. Usually, we'll just see them along the river, but they're everywhere. So I got to talk to someone about something I can spray. Like, Temple is made for home, and I know it will kill these little ones. And it's got a residual, and sometimes I'll just run that around the borders because they're not in the food plots now. But once it gets later in the year and that grass starts burning up and that's still green, that's when they go in there. So I would think that we're going to have a problem, and maybe I'm going to go look, and we got that nice rain yesterday. Maybe it drowned some of them, or killed them, or don't they get like a fungus or something like that from it?
I'm not sure
So,
on the grasshopper side. No, I'm not positive.
yeah, but like I said, that's one thing in North Dakota. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what, we can have a bumper year of rain, and we're going to have great hay. Then you get blister beetles, and then you have this, and then you have a hailstorm. It's like, I just want 1 year in my lifetime where everything lines up and it's perfect.
Now, what would you do if everything worked out? You wouldn't have anything to pull you back to know what real struggles are.
Oh, I've had enough struggles in my lifetime, buddy. You know what it's like, no matter what. And I'm not even a rancher and farmer. I said, there's a reason I don't do it for a living. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that's stress
Too much
level.
Stress. Oh my gosh, terrible.
That's why they make alcohol in some places. You know that.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, on a rainy day, why everybody's sitting in the bar.
They're telling stories. So soybeans, corn, what else did you plant in that is attracting those deer?
Well, I tried to beat the storm the other day, and I'm putting in some sorghum with some turnips. Just it's like a grain sorghum that deer really like, especially in the doughy stage, and then the turnips they always like when it freezes. So it's kind of what I'm going to go do, and I'm going to have to probably replant that, and we'll see how that goes. But those soybeans are coming. The corn looks awesome. So between those two in this area, that seems to be the ticket.
Is it too late? Text message says, is it too late to plant food plots now?
No, there's, a lot of guys only plant fall food plots. They'll start, like, if we got thunderstorms coming through in July, you get out there and plant brassicas and cover crops, and they do well. You can plant rye, you can plant winter wheat, and the key to food plots is keeping things green as long as you can. So you got your early, like your soybeans and stuff that are going to be green in September. They're going to be feeding on them. Then they're going to be good late season. So in that October, what do you have green? If your neighbors don't have green and you have green, you're going to have deer there. So then you look at planting some other things that, whether it be winter wheat that pops up 6 inches or whatever, and it stays green. That's, like I said, a guy can pretty much plant all the way into, some of these places plant all the way into October, but for us, I'm going to say end of July is probably the last you get away with, except for winter wheat and stuff like that you can do in September.
So a couple of comments before we got to go for the show here. It says, after maybe Thanksgiving, the shelter belts are so full of snow that the deer were forced out into the open. Maybe it was predators, but they spent a lot of the winters on the hilltops around his area. And maybe that affected and maybe forced a few abortions. And another text comes in, says, do grasshoppers get EHD or CWD? Maybe they're looking at the wrong thing there, John. Maybe grasshoppers are spreading it. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
then
go ahead. No, yeah, go ahead. You can.
No, I was going to tell you before we go, I'm going to reach out to people. So I got camp coming up July 12th, 13th, and 14th in Bismarck at Nishu. It's our Raised at Full Draw camp, and we are full. We filled up the camp with kids. But if there's anybody that wants to volunteer to help out, we set up on Tuesday, and that's always a lot of work. But also, if anybody's ever interested in becoming an instructor, we're starting to expand the program. We're trying to get enough money to get another trailer so we can take it to another city. And if you're interested,
get in touch with yourself. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Eat some meat, drink some milk. All right, now you can say give phone numbers. There's quite a few people on the YouTube channel still watching that they're gonna come back and watch this. So
Yeah.
how do
So
they
if
get in
there's
touch?
anybody, yeah. So if there's anybody that, like I said, we're going to try to expand to, we're talking about going to another, the goal was so that we could have kind of like a day basketball camps where you have, if someone wanted us to come into Minot, we would come in there with our trailer, train them, and get them so that they could have their own camp. And they can contact me at 701-391-2438 if they're interested in maybe bringing camp to their area. And we can talk about how we get it set up and get it going in their neck of the woods. And that goes for the people down in South Dakota. If they're looking, they want to get a great program going. It's something the kids absolutely enjoy, and they get to learn everything there is about bow hunting, to get started. They get their bow hunter certification. They have a good time, and the adults too. I got to say, it's life-changing for the kids, but as an adult, when you're there, it can be life-changing also.
Yeah. And it's kind of like I'd look at hunter safety courses. There's very few instructors and they have to do it voluntarily. And around the Bowman area, I bet you there's 60 kids that want to take it, and they limit it to class of 15. And it would be nice to have more people around. Same thing with yours. Get that bow hunter education around the states, and just start spreading it around a little bit more.
Yeah. Like I said, I even had an idea one time. Why not? You think about it, if we're having a shortage of it, why couldn't we somehow, and some people are going to probably freak out on this, but why not privatize it a little bit?
Yep.
Where, like, if I wanted to make money off of it, I'd charge a kid. And I'm not saying that I would do that, but I'm just saying it's free. But if you want to sign up and a guy's going to come out to Bowman and spend,
3
time
days.
out
Yeah,
there,
absolutely.
to charge, and I know that there's parents because they want their kids to get it. So if they had to pay $50, they would pay $50, but we just need to somehow get more instructors out there. Or we've talked about why not pay the instructors so that it's an incentive for them to go, because volunteering works great. But, the days of guys doing it for 30 years, I think, are over, because it's just the way of the world is not so much giving as they used to be, where some of these guys were able to do it.
Waylon asks, what's a good group to get a kid into archery shooting?
What's a good group?
Like you see,
what organization?
Different organizations, but there's also, like the Nishu have different groups that get together and shoot different styles. And
where's Waylon at? Where's he from?
He lives in Mandan, north of Mandan.
Okay. I would go to Nishua. They have great leagues. They have instructors there. Like I said, our camp with kids, half of our kids have never, ever shot a bow or even own a bow. And we supply them for them, and they come out like shooters. So anything like a 4-H is really good. Bismarck 4-H, Morton County, I think, has the same thing. They have archery in their camps and their organization. So any of those, like I said, 4-H, Nishu, and our camp is like...
Yeah, they actually have the archery in the schools program as well.
Yep, and again, I always tell people, archery in the schools program is a great program to get a kid shooting a bow, but if you want them, if you're looking at hunting, you got to look at it. That's the one thing we started raised at Full Draw, is that NASP was doing a great job getting kids shooting targets, but it didn't get them into hunting. So it depends on what you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's probably what he's asking the different groups of, because you can there's a lot of people that just shoot archery just for the, the paper, and that's it.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like those TAC events. There's guys that travel all over the country shooting 3D targets.
Yep.
And probably don't even hunt as much as you would think they would, but they like shooting archery.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, hey man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy.
You have yourself a good day, and enjoy. We'll catch up one of these days and get you down here. And I got a couple ideas for some food plots, but I want you to take a look at what I'm in my mind and see if it'll work in the Badlands.
All right, buddy.
So
thank you.
All right, man. Catch you later. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
You bet. See ya. All right, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in and hanging with me. Appreciate it. Tell your friends to subscribe and all that good stuff. Have yourself a good weekend. Enjoy.